So first, Northport has grown substantially in recent years. How will you balance neighborhood safety, such as policing and fire services, while preserving the character of the community?
Well, the remodeling of Interstate 82, as I like to call it, Highway 82 out here, has really expedited traffic quite a bit through town. But the communities and the subdivisions around the city the traffic study hasn't been done in years. And as the city expanded, the neighborhoods expanded. And the neighborhoods expanded, then the highways expanded, and they put up another stop sign, made another intersection. But a comprehensive study of the entire traffic situation in Northport, to my knowledge, hasn't been done. So a comprehensive study of the traffic, unless you can get to 82, you can't go anywhere, and getting out of the neighborhoods is a problem. And along with that, the speed bumps in the neighborhoods. Several neighborhoods have speed bumps in it, and the fire department and the police department here, they have trouble with speed bumps, especially the fire department. Ambulance or fire truck, if the front end of a fire truck hits a speed bump, they have to slow down to go over the speed bump, which can delay them a minute or two. If you got 2 or 3 vehicles, it can delay them 5 minutes getting to your house because of a speed bump. Because to tear a front end out of a fire truck hitting a speed bump doing even 20 miles an hour can cost $30,000–$40,000. So I think working with the fire department and the police department with the traffic in town would be a very, very good move.
Okay, next question. Kentuck Park and other public spaces are important community centers. How would you ensure they remain safe, accessible, and inviting to all residents?
Keep them clean. Keep them organized. Matter of fact, I was just by Kentuck Park coming out here, and they had 2 of the zero-turn lawnmowers just ripping out, cleaning up the Kentuck Park after a weekend, I guess. And anyway, keeping them clean, keeping them organized, and signage. The signage on the parks and recreation need a lot of work. I mean, they just got just a little sign hanging there, what it is, and promoting the parks on the website, promoting the activities that are available in Northport. Everybody says, there's nothing to do in Northport. Well, look around a little bit. There is things to do in Northport, but we need to put it on the website, make publications. When you go into the visitor center, when you go in from here to Mississippi, you stop in the visitor center. Well, you have a billboard there with pamphlets from whatever's available in the state. Well, why can't we have something like that in City Hall or even outside City Hall, where if you go look, see, well, what can we do? Well, I didn't know that there was a rock climbing place out at the airport. Now, I'm not going to go up a rock climbing place, but the kids like them, So I think that would be something could be done to improve it.
Okay. What initiatives would you propose to strengthen relationships between law enforcement and the community, especially in underrepresented neighborhoods?
Underrepresented neighborhoods. That's a broad statement. Everybody thinks they're underrepresented. It don't matter where you live, you don't think you got enough of anything. But better communications with the police department, the fire department, especially within the department itself. Community. I don't want to bring church into this, but I was at church a couple of weeks ago, and the pastor said community. Community is common interest. Community. And people with common views, and if we had meetings quarterly between the police department, within the police department, and within the fire department, make the personnel more available. Instead of just being a cop in a car, that's Fred. I know him because I saw him at Thursday night. We had a thing at the City Hall, So getting to know the officers is probably the best way to do it. And the police, the firemen as well. And I have friends in both departments, and they're underrepresented in the community as far as people knowing who they are. I think communications with them would be very good.
Okay, next question. So we're going to get into the next section, which is growth and development.
Okay.
So first question is, Northport is experiencing development pressure, including sports facilities near Kentuck Park. How will you guide future growth to benefit residents while protecting cultural and natural assets?
I just drove through the new park, which is phenomenal. they're still under construction. They opened it last weekend, but still a lot of work to do out there. There's probably 50 people out there digging holes and cleaning up. But as far as the community, the small businesses coming into the community is the vibrant part of the community. The permitting and ZBA, Zoning Board of Adjustments, and the inspection department needs to do a little bit more cohesive work within itself, so that when someone comes to City Hall and wants to open a business, I would like to be able to hand them a booklet giving them the departments and what the requirements for each department in order for them to get their CO, their certificate of occupancy, when they get through. And when they come into the City Hall looking for a business, say, okay, this is Mrs. Phillips, fictitious name. She is going to take care of you during this entire process. Your one contact at City Hall for your permitting and your zoning and everything is this one lady right here. And if you got a question, you go to her. Now, she doesn't have all the answers, but she can get the answers. And the word no needs to be taken out of the vocabulary for City Hall. No is not an answer. If you tell somebody no, if you tell somebody no, that gets you off of doing anything. You don't have to work. You don't have to do anything. Just no, go away. If you say yes, you got to go to work. You've got to do something for that person because you told them yes, you're going to approve you're going to work with them. So no needs to be taken out of City Hall altogether. Even if it's going to be a no at some point, one person doesn't need to have the capability of telling a new business no on something because they don't know the entire program.
How do you plan to involve residents in planning decisions such as zoning, park redevelopment, or mixed-use projects to ensure transparency and trust?
The Zoning Board of Adjustments, which is, as I understand it, if you have a zoning situation that needs to be adjusted, then you go to the Zoning Board of Adjustments, which kind of makes sense. But it's usually 5 or 6 people that few people in the community know. But I think I'd like to have a quarterly meeting of different departments open to the public. Coffee, donuts, or if you're diabetic, you might not want a donut, which I don't, but I love them. But so that when you have a question or when you have something come up in a city that needs attention, you already know that it's coming. It's not something that just hits you in the face when you wake up one morning. Well, we're building a $41 million park over here. We're starting construction on it. Well, this is the first I've heard about it. So I think better communications between the City Hall and the public on a regular basis, quarterly, and the people that want to get involved with it, we've got a nice facility here. It's a nice lobby. It could use some decorating, but I think maybe that's maybe to answer your question pretty well.
What strategies would you implement to attract sustainable businesses and investment, especially in underutilized areas like downtown?
All right. Oh, yeah. First of all, we need to clean up the available properties that we have. We have a lot of real estate here in town. Construction plots that could be constructed on that are dirty, grown up, weeds on them, not presentable at all. It's kind of like you selling a house. You want to paint it up, fix it up a little bit before you can sell the house. Well, if you coming in Northport, you look at a piece of property, if the house next door to it is in shambles and the yard, the lot available next to it is all grown up, you don't really want to look at it. So making the real estate here and the buildings that are available, even if they need some work on them, somebody comes into town looking for a place to do business, I think we could use something like when you have an accident in your vehicle, you get a wrecker. You know how you get the wrecker? The policeman calls the next one in rotation. Wrecker companies all register with the city, and Freddie Robertson Wrecker Service or Bam Barger, whoever's next on the list, gets a call. Okay, somebody walks into City Hall, I want a piece of property. Okay, let me see, who's the next real estate on my list? Okay, Alice Maxwell. I just happen to know Alice. She's next on the list. Here, I'll give you Alice's phone number. You call her, she'll take care of your real estate needs. Rather than just saying, I don't know, and have a list of properties that are available. There's one up on Highway 43 here, run down property on the left, got a for sale sign on it. It could at least cut the grass around it, you know. But helping the people coming into town let them know that we want them here. We want their families here. And letting other communities know, like some of the communities that people are wanting to leave, they're going somewhere. If they head to Florida, guess what they got to go through to get to Florida? Most of them got to go through Alabama. And the interstate highway out here carries so much traffic from the west to Florida. So advertise Northport. Let them know, hey, stop, give us have a welcome station here. You know, we've got people here. We could have a welcome station with the board with all the amenities available, and we've got plenty of room in here. So a little more outreach from City Hall to help people want to live to Northport. Northport's a great place. I've been here for 47 years. I raised both of my girls here, and I like the community. You've got everything available, and you've got transportation. You're about 3 hours from New Orleans, Memphis, Nashville, Atlanta, and the Gulf Coast. You know, a 3-hour drive. My daughter has actually gone to the beach for the day from here. Drive down there, spend the day, and come back. And so you've got a lot of attributes here that are not really advertised. Did that answer that question?
Yes, you did. Great answer. So next we're going to get into the education concerns, educational portion. So our teachers face budget cuts, high turnover, and mental wellness challenges. What role would the mayor's office play in supporting local schools and educators?
That is a hot potato. That is a hot potato. The education system here in the county and the city is adequate, I think. The county, I don't know that much about the City Board of Education, but I've dealt with the County Board of Education for the last, my oldest daughter's 47. And the primary, it's not the education system, it's the parents that are involved with the education system, or in this case, the parents that are not involved with the education system. They want to get on your case when you do something wrong, but they don't know anything going on in the school except little Johnny just got arrested for smoking dope in the bathroom. Well, that's the first thing they've heard about it, you know. But parental interaction with the schools and the kids. Don't just drop them off at the door and let them go. I know probably the next question is going to be either a Northport private school system or a Northport city school system. And that would be something that I would entertain a study on. But Northport's 32,000 people, and there's 20,000 registered voters or so in Northport with about 10,000 households. We need to wait till this little truck gets by. It wasn't a tractor trailer, but it was a truck.
Yeah, that's why I use that mic, but got it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you can splice that out. Yeah, edit it out. Where were we on that? The school system.
Yes,
the school system. Yeah, I think the school system is not the problem. It's the parents' involvement in the school system. I mean, yes, you can correct the school system. You can give all the teachers, make them all $250,000 a year. It's still not going to be enough money for the school teachers, and we're not going to get any better service out of it. Throwing money at something is not the answer to all questions.
So next question. How would you collaborate with the Tuscaloosa School District parents and community groups to address teacher retention, classroom size, and student well-being?
Why did the teacher leave? Why did the teacher go somewhere else? Why did the nurse leave? Why did the fireman leave the department? Why? There needs some kind of exit interview. We'll go back to something that everybody knows about, cell phones. You go to AT&T, Verizon to buy a cell phone. You can buy a cell phone right there. But you turn around in a week and try to turn that thing off. You can't go back to that location and turn that cell phone off. You've got to get on the phone, talk to their customer retention department. They're going to make a deal with you, negotiate, give you some free airtime or free something. We need a employee retention department for the educators, the firemen, the policemen, whatever. If they're going somewhere else, why are you going? what do we need to do to keep you here, or either get somebody to take your job? Why did you leave? You didn't leave just because you woke up one morning and decided you didn't want to leave here anymore. You left because money, interpersonal relationships with some of your employees or some of your staff. So why did you leave? I think that would be a very, very good, not necessarily a committee, but a couple of people in the department or with outside the department. If you're going to leave the fire department here, you go to the fire department in Helena. Well, why are you leaving here? What did we do wrong, or what can we do right to keep you? So some type of retention policy for all the departments, the schools, everything, so that you just find out why they left. If you don't know why they left, you're going to hire somebody to take their place, and they're going to be gone too.
Next question, this is the last question on the education segment. What educational or training partnerships do you envision between the city and institutions like Shelton State or the University of Alabama to better prepare students for the local job market?
Co-op programs. I think co-op programs are excellent. And most employer would like to have a co-op person if they have a department that they can utilize to train them. At least Mercedes, they have basically a co-op program. They hire people on temporary purposes, but a lot of the manufacturers companies have co-op programs. Alabama Power has a co-op program. A lot of the bigger engineering firms have co-op programs. A student gets out of high school, they know what mama did, they know what daddy did, they know there's a fireman and a policeman. But in this environment now, you can specialize. It's like an MD. When I was a kid, an MD was a doctor. He worked on the whole body. Now you got an MD in charge of left big toes. I mean, it's so specific. And for somebody coming out of even college to realize what is actually out there, they may go into a field that they get into a field. How many people start teaching and within 2 years they're gone because it was not what they cracked up to be? So student teaching works well, but more of student teaching get the students involved with the system so they see how the whole thing works. And that would be with any type of employment. And I think working with the employers in the city, in Northport and Tuscaloosa, we've got some nice sized employees in cities and companies in Northport. A co-op program I think would be good as far as helping keep the people here when you get them.
All right, so we're on our last segment now. This is money and economy. First question, 3 more questions left. With limited municipal budgets, how would you prioritize spending between investment in economic growth and maintaining essential services?
Essential services, that is another open-ended question. What's essential to you may not be essential to me. So essential services are basic services like sewage, water, garbage, fire. Essential services is not necessarily internet. But in order to, I've lost my train of thought.
Okay, would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
Yeah, no problem. With limited municipal budgets, how would you prioritize spending between investment in economic growth and maintaining essential services?
Well, we can splice the first of that together with the
great.
essential services. The economic growth, you've got to spend money to make money. You've got to advertise, you've got to put some people in place so that when someone does want to open a business in town, they feel welcomed. As far as the economic, the financial portion, the salaries and benefits, everybody wants to blame higher prices on inflation. I'm no economist, but availability of money causes inflation. You get a 5% raise at your office, then you find out everything just went up 6%. There's more money available for them to get. So the answer to all questions is not more money. It's better working conditions, better communications with the departments, so that, I mean, I have left jobs for less money because the department that I was working for I just didn't like anymore. Didn't fit well with me. That's a very good question, and I've been very ambiguous with it because it's kind of out there. I mean, I really don't have a concrete answer for it, and I'm not sure that anybody actually would have a good answer for that. It's very, very complicated.
Okay. Next question. Can you share any specific proposals for increasing Northport's revenues, whether through grants, smart economic development, or public-private partnerships without raising taxes?
Public-private partnerships are working throughout the country. We just got into a public-private arrangement with one of the larger chip manufacturers. The United States government actually is involved with the chip manufacturer to the tune of 10% of the business, because they wanted it here. They don't want it in another country. They want to bring it here. Some public-private investment, I think, is good. Use the private money, because private can always do stuff cheaper than the public. I mean, you can make a widget for a lot less money with people that know about widgets than somebody that's running a government that doesn't know about widgets. All they're interested in is the financial end of it. I don't know. That's about it. I mean,
Okay. So, let's see, we're almost done. We have our last question. What is your strategy for ensuring that new economic opportunities, such as developments near Kentuck Park or downtown, provide benefits equal across all Northport neighborhoods?
well, you've got zoning and planning involved there. You can't build a hotel in the middle of a subdivision. So it'd be hard to make. You're going to have the. Let me cut this thing off.
You're fine.
Read the question again.
Of course. So what is your strategy for ensuring that new economic opportunities, such as developments near Kentuck Park or downtown, provide benefits equal across all Northport neighborhoods?
Again, that's a very difficult question to answer. Equal to be in all Northport neighborhoods. You're going to be able to build in the areas that are applicable for building. Like I said, you can't put a hotel in the middle of Northwood Lake. So it's going to have to be on the river. I think the river, our side of the river, meaning the Northport side of the river, has a lot of potential. I drove by the ball fields earlier. There's a big open field. You know, this would be a great place for a camper park. All these baseball kids coming in here. A lot of these families have campers. There's really no place in town to park a camper temporarily. I mean, or a motorhome, a camper type situation. So I think some investment in that, and those can be put in just about anywhere. You can get it zoned for. You wouldn't want to put one in the middle of Northwood Lake, but behind Walmart out here, it's got a nice place for one. But I think some extensive look at the community and the availability of real estate and specific buildings. We need a good hotel. We have a lot of good eating places here in town, but we don't have really a nice restaurant.